Hello and welcome everybody to session 32 of my Pillars of Eternity Lorethrough, being recorded on June 22nd, 2023. Last session we explored this tower in Heritage Hill. We got to the top, but there was a ghoul version of Aldhelm, one of the researchers exploring this tower here, and he told us about how the machine kind of turned on one night. Appeared to be from a leaden key operative. And that is when the souls of the bodies in Heritage Hill started to decay, or at least the bodies started to decay. And the ghouls just kind of started to eat each other because they have to eat living matter in order to sustain themselves. And he's trying up there now, the ghoul Aldhelm is trying to turn off the machine, and we need to visit Icantha in this house here, the vampire who we tried to attack before, but it just didn't take. Supposedly she can read the Ingwithan runes so that we can figure out how to turn this machine off. So that is where we are about to go now. Let's do it.
You return. What have you come seeking this time?
I'm demanding something in both of these options here. I feel like she's not going to take well to that. I saw you in a vision. There's something you need to do for me.
Believe me, I've heard that line before. It's rude to stare, you know. Don't worry. I've no mind to start anything with you. After all, I've stayed in such good shape by choosing my meals carefully.
I need the words that operate the Ingwithan machine in the tower.
That fool Aldhelm. He sent you, didn't he? I can hardly believe he's had the cleverness to survive. That simpleton thinks he can understand how to use something without understanding what it is, or why it is.
You feel a hot core of pride smoldering at the center of her soul.
He dabbles with ancient and powerful devices, with all the finesse of a blacksmith. He sends you here to petition me for aid after years of disparaging my research. I'll bet he didn't even tell you the tower's name, did he? That's his problem. Always looking for solutions without caring for meaning.
Okay, so while I was reading her soul here, it said that she had a hot core of pride. So let's feed that and ask her for the tower's name.
Ter Nuneth. It's called Ter Nuneth. They built the machine atop it to contain souls, hold them in place. But the others I've seen, machines scattered all over the Deerwood, are relays, built to move souls.
So the one here keeps souls in place, and supposedly there are other ones, probably like the one we saw at the very beginning of the game in Sealant Lys, that are meant to transfer them elsewhere. Where would they move souls?
Another mystery. Hypothetically, anywhere they wished. The real question, as always, is why? To intermix them the way a player shuffles his deck, the way a farmer rotates his fields? To collect them, like butterflies under glass? To melt them down for raw essence? Unfortunately, I don't know.
Why would the Ingwithans have wanted to tether souls like this?
Perhaps they didn't. Perhaps that's why they built no other machines like this one. We now see the Ingwithans as masters of soul manipulation, but they couldn't have attained their expertise without copious trial and error. Perhaps this was one such experiment.
So a long history of experimenting with souls in this world at the expense of people's lives. The Ingwithans were doing the same thing. Again, feeding the pride here. You seem to know a lot about Ter Nuneth.
I read the runes like a journal. I understand their meaning. People like Aldhelm try to read them like instructions, and in so doing, they miss their true meaning completely.
Okay, so rather than just reciting words, you have to understand what they mean when you say them. How do you operate the machine atop Ter Nuneth?
Back to these tinkers' concerns. And what would you do with these tethered souls if I told you?
I'd release them.
So you say. And just what would you release them to? They'd abandon their existence here for another somewhere else, equally aimless and meaningless.
I wonder if that's because the Hollowborn, so souls have nowhere to go because of the Hollowborn legacy. I could help you, but I won't. The pride lodged in her soul flares up, twisting into the shape of something that writhes and squeals within her. Here, I have specimens aplenty and time enough to observe them all. It's every scientist's dream. My answer is no. So again, it's this pride. The pride lodged in her soul flares up, twisting into the shape of something that writhes and squeals within her. So is it trying to get out? Like she does want to help, but her soul's not letting her? What? Kana says. But what good is observing all this if you're to hoard it for yourself? Tell her, Bjartar. An entire language at your fingertips, and she hides it away. Let's extinguish Icantha's pride. The vampire doesn't seem to notice as you wrap your mind around the squalling, burning mass. However, it sears your very bones. You jump back, crying out in pain. I won't abandon this opportunity, Icantha says. These souls will remain here with me, and I'll accomplish more than any animancer in the history of the field. So not only can Watcher speak to souls, we can actually manipulate them as well. And who will know about it? The pride thing flickers as the flames around it abate. All I've learned, years of studying Ingwithan language, no one understands it better than me. That counts for something. Your opportunities here are finite. One day that knowledge will die with you. The pride hisses and sputters, as little more than an ember now. You're wrong, but there's no conviction in her voice. I'll build it forever. I'll cling to it. That will give me something. Can I extinguish Icantha's pride now? You reach for it, but it's still too hot to grasp in your mind for more than a second. It may not be much, but it's still something. You can't take that away from me. Will that really be enough for you? This is about how she I'll build it forever. I'll cling to it. That will give me something. So in other words, we're saying, will that be enough for her to just keep working on it without people knowing what she's doing? Because this pride means that she wants people to know how smart she is, basically. Will that really be enough for you? The dying cinder clings to life. It will. It must be. Trying to extinguish it again. Still not there. Teach me what you know. I'll make sure that it grows and your legacy lives on. Your words finally quench her pride, and all that remains is a blackened diamond-hard rock. You cast it away where it melts into the darkness.
So be it. My studies and efforts shall grow through yours. These are the words you need.
Her cold, dry fingertips rest in your temples, and you feel her reaching into your mind, forming images from the darkness. Runes flash through your head, but they're no longer just pictures. They have meaning, and you understand them. They're commands. Something triggers in your mind, a distant memory unearthed from a past life long since buried. You can see a vast array of runes, far more than Icantha has shown you, and you know their sound and their meaning and how they fit together. The language of Engwith once more at your command. So we understand Ingwithan now. Wow.
Something has awakened in your mind. You understand far more than I ever did. Take this knowledge then, and do what you will with Ter Nuneth. Now that you understand its purpose, it will serve you in whatever way you wish.
Kana says, a speaker of dead tongues now. And so he surpasses 100 frustrated scholars in a matter of few moments. I don't suppose you could look at a few books for me? You said the other towers around the Deerwood were constructed to move souls. Why would the Ingwithans have wanted to do that? Another mystery. Hypothetically, anywhere they wished. The real question, as always, is why? To intermix them the way a player shuffles his deck, the way a farmer rotates his fields? To collect them like butterflies under glass, to melt them down for raw essence? Unfortunately, I don't know. I think we've heard that already before. I still don't understand why the Icantans would want to build a machine that tethers souls. Perhaps they didn't. Perhaps that's why they built no other machines like this one. We now see the Icantans as masters of soul manipulation, but they couldn't have attained their expertise without copious trial and error. Perhaps this was one such experiment. I'm hearing a lot of these things over again. What do I do with the tower now that I know these words?
Turn it off, I expect. That will be easy now that you can read the runes. The vessels would still roam, but striking them down would return their essence to the cycle. But be careful. That machine controls hundreds of souls, and that volume of essence could easily overload it. Improperly channeling the essence would destroy the machine along with the souls. It would be a terrible loss for posterity.
Okay. So we do want to turn it off. But striking them down would return their essence to the cycle. But we have to be careful because the machine controls hundreds of souls and that volume of essence could easily overload it. Improperly channeling the essence would destroy the machine along with the souls. So we want to try to avoid that. Out of the corner of his eye, Aloth gives you a sly look. It seems your ravenous new friend has just given us the key to ending this wretchedness for good. And now that we've seen what this machine is capable of, I do hope you're not squeamish about the loss of a few hundred souls. Explain how the control words work. Harnessing the power of Ternonoth is about understanding what it was designed to do. You know the words and their meanings. You can speak them, and the tower shall obey. That's all, thanks. I wonder if we can tell somebody that there's a vampire just kind of roaming around in Heritage Hill, taking bodies to quench her hunger. Got some taxes. Okay, so key is to stop the machine without destroying the souls that are housed within. Let's see if we can do that. Let's just go all the way down, but it won't do the same way if we back up. Oh well. Oh, yes, again. Okay, here goes. Let's talk to Adhelm first. Adhelm looks much worse than before. His rotten flesh hangs loosely and sores have eaten away patches of skin at his joints. He looks at you with a strange glimmer in his eyes. So yeah, he's decaying very rapidly, and I did want to point out, you can see on the sides here, Defiance Bay below, so we're pretty high up.
Flesh.
He takes a tentative, scuttling step toward you. He doubles over, coughing up strings of black bile. He seems to have forgotten about you for the moment. If I want his help, I'll need to send a victim to him. I don't think we have any victims to send. I wonder if we could have sent one of those people that Icantha had locked up there. Well, let's give this a try. A jagged Adra pillar rises in front of you, encased in stonework and run through the copper veins. The panel is covered with runes, which you can now understand. You recognize words for end and for hold. The dial is currently fixed on hold. You also recognize by an inscription that the manner in which you turn the dial is a means of throttling the device. Okay, so I think I want to stop it from doing what it has been doing forever. If I end, then I guess that means it'll stop doing it, but someone could come back and use it. But it seems like if I overload it, then it will destroy it. Let's see. Muttering a command, you give the dial a violent twist. The moving spires spin faster and faster, wobbling from their axes. The light filling the machine quickly becomes too bright to behold. You look away and cover your ears, but the thunderous crash that follows shakes the floor beneath you. When you look back, the machine is in ruins, never to be used again. Okay. So I was able to destroy it. What happened to the souls? Let's see if I can find out from the... Oh man, I sacrificed the trapped souls of Heritage Hill to destroy the machine. Okay.
Still and silent. It's finally over.
So Aldhelm seems relieved about that. Yeah, we can see even clearer here. Love this look. You can see Defiance Bay below from the top of the tower. Winding staircase runs through the core of the tower, providing access to all levels. Oh, just leave. Oh, yeah. Proceed to the bottom. Alright, let's go see if Icantha says anything about this. Feel bad for the souls, but now no one can use this machine again. Kinda seems like there was no right answer to that one. I do wonder what souls... No, souls probably would have just gone back to the wheel if we just turned it off. Icantha's gone. Where did she go? Did she die? I wonder... No, because Aldhelm is still there. I was going to say, I wonder if maybe me destroying it also left all the souls, sacrificed all the souls that were in Heritage Hill. So they were also destroyed, but yeah, Aldhelm was still alive. Okay, so this is the crypt, I believe, anyway. No. That's the Vaultus crypt. There's another crypt, maybe it's the one up here. Yeah. With the Spectre in it. So let's see if we have what it takes to deal with her now. So I already did the conversation with her. I'm going to choose all the same options as last time. So if you want to see that conversation with her, I believe it was last session. Okay. I'm gonna use everything in my power here.
Lava! Fire of a goddess!
Oh man, I wonder if we should kill her first.
Damn it! We gotta take better care of Ella.
Okay, let's try one more time. Attacking the Spectre first. And then if not, then we'll just come back later.
All right, then.
That's right, I have some summons here. Oh, nice, nice, she went down.
Not getting...
There we go. I think that clears Heritage Hill of all kinds of undead messes.
Nice and quiet.
Great sword and plate armor, that's all that was in there.
I'll see what I can find.
Did I get a journal entry from that or anything? No idea. Okay. So those summons really helped turn the tide of battle here. Yeah, so we're done in Heritage Hill. Let's talk to the Justiciar here.
How do you do?
Oh, here we go. We just have to leave. The tower, it's off. Does this mean the curse on Heritage Hill is lifted? It wasn't a curse, but yes, the district is safe again. I think it'll be some time before anyone will be willing to settle in this district again, but at least we can get started on restoring it. Okay. So right now... Oh, we need to inform Lady Webb about the Leaden Keys activities. Let's go do that first. Uh-oh. Who are these guys? Assassins are sent after me. What's reason? They have some kind of note or something. Okay, we have 2 scrawled notes. Written in the scrap of parchment is a concise but detailed description of you, including your name, your distinguishing features, and everyone you're known to have associated with in your brief time in the Deerwood. Same thing? Yep. So somebody is after us now, and these are Woodica hoods, so they must be the Leaden Key. They must be aware of us now. And as we know, Theos, the soul who has been haunting us, basically.
Hail,
and
traveler.
following us. Oh, never mind. Here's a courier. Excuse me, but I've been looking for you. You're the one who lifted the curse on Heritage Hill. My lady, who wishes to remain anonymous, has entrusted me with bringing you this pistol. It belonged to a dear friend of hers who was lost to the curse. For your part in reclaiming Heritage Hill, my lady wishes you to have it. Here, may it serve you well in battle. Thank you. She bows. You are quite welcome. St. Garam's Spark is added to your inventory. Let's take a look at that one. It's a unique pistol. St. Garam was a priest of Hylia, known for his mastery of the art of wordplay. It was said he could shape the mood of a crowd with a single word and find the cruel precision the most shocking turn of phrase with which to dismantle an opponent. One more whimsical daughter of the Deerwood had this pistol crafted in his honor. For the gun, too, she said, could put an end to any debate. Wow. It's very damaging. So I think I want to actually equip this with Bjarter here, because if he gets stuck behind everybody in battle, which has happened quite a few times, I can at least switch over to the pistol, and he can shoot from behind the lines to gain some of his soul energy for his cipher abilities. I think it still works with the ranged weapons, though I'm not sure. Alright, back to Lady Webb. I feel like I was also talking about something. Oh yeah, and we know from what we talked about with Lady Webb that Theos isn't likely to leave any survivors once he has meddled in someone else's affairs. So the fact that we got away is probably really eating at Theos right now, which is probably why assassins were sent after us.
How fares your search?
Alright, there's something I can tell you about the Leaden Key operation.
Well, let's hear it.
The Icantha Tower in Heritage Hill contains an ancient machine that can control the flow of souls. The Leaden Key activated it.
This is troubling. That civilization seems to have known more about the mechanics of souls than anyone since. The Leaden Key was born in that period. It may be that Theos has full knowledge of their technology. The applications of this machine you speak of, I don't want to think about it.
The civilization... so talking about the Icantans, they know more about the mechanics of souls than anyone else, and it says the Leaden Key was born in that period, so the Leaden Key is an extremely old... I mean, cult, organization, religion. Wow.
That isn't enough to take to the Duke, but we're close. Avar Wolfgren is a cautious man. He will want to know everything possible before being moved to action.
That's all. Farewell. Why she speaks so slow. So slowly. Okay, so I want to go to Cadnua to rest. And then I want to be able, I want to get that missing scroll of Wael. I feel like that's in the Woodend Plains. I'll have to look that up though, so let's go to Cadnua first.
Last thing the Deerwood needs is another foreign colony.
Talking about our colony, the Woodland Trail's construction is completed. What's next? Curio Shop, Artificer's Hall, the Forum, the Botanical Garden. Let's start warming up Bright Hollow. Bright Hollow Hearth. There's the head mage. We have the Warden's Lodge. Let's actually go there because it said we can get high-level bounties over there. Wonder how high-level they are. It's gonna be kind of a hike. This is the forum, I think. Okay. This field journal contains sketches of Admeth's wort, deercap, and other common plants. One glass eye and several teeth are missing from the sculder head. Some fruit in here.
Hail, traveler!
And here's the warden. This grizzled old man takes a puff of his pipe and nods at you. I was wondering when you'd be dropping by. Kids around here have been hit with more than their share of trouble of late. I'm up to my ear in bounty offers. Figured at least one of these might interest someone with your skills. What are their most recent bounties? Now, I want to warn you, there's a reason these bounties are still on offer. These are tough bastards, every one of them. If you're not up for it now, feel free to come back around when you're better prepared. In the meantime, here's a good batch to start us off. There's a standing bounty on Sly Cyrodiil's head, of course. Then there's the forest lurker haunting the trade routes, and this ogre shaman should fetch a good price. And the last one up is War Chief Iglak. Tell me about Sly Cyrodiil. This bounty comes all the way from New Hamar. Sly Cyrodiil and some of his accomplices have escaped the prison there and killed two justiciars on the way out. The guards are itching after revenge. The man matching his description was seen near Malgren's Fork. He's well armed, and he'll have his friends with him too. Tell me about the forest lurker. Let's see. Word is this big forest lurker's taken up residence in the Black Meadow, just off the main road. The merchants have been calling it the Dweller, and they want it gone before it starts chewing up their caravans. I'll take on the ogre. That's one that keeps making the rounds. Nalrind the Wise. He's some kind of ogre shaman. They say he's raided a half-dozen farms all over the Deerwood. Word is he's holed up somewhere in Elmshore, though nobody who went looking has been seen since. Tell me about the war chief. War Chief Iglak. He's a Zorip, if the name didn't tip you off. He moves around a lot, but he's known to haunt the Valewood from time to time. Folks want him dealt with before he takes up with the dragon. I'll be going. So I just got all of these bounties, which means these people are wandering around in these areas now. I thought I was just asking for information about them. Okay. I also wanted to look and see the Parable of Wael. An abandoned farm on the path to Deerwood, to Deerford. So first,
Amazing.
rest.
You could fit a
And then we'll head to the Woodend Plains. And maybe we'll try our hand at one of these bounties. I have a feeling they might be a little bit too powerful for us right now, but I don't know for sure. Okay, so this is still in disrepair over here. And let's get a might bonus for damage. Sagani saunters over to you, stretching her legs. She holds a pouch of deer jerky in one hand, and she offers it as she takes a seat across from you. Itumak looks on hungrily. Long day. She bends one arm behind her head, reaching until you hear a pop. Just wanted to see how you're holding up. You seem to have a lot of long nights. The Leaden Key hasn't assassinated me yet, so I guess I can't complain. A bright side to everything, isn't there? She folds her arms over her knees. Look, it's been a while since I had a hunting party, but we're in this together now, and even if we're hunting for different things, we're still hunting together. She takes a hunk of dried meat from her pouch and bites a long strip from it. Itumak lips his lips, and she tosses him the rest. I don't understand exactly what's happening to you, but I'll help you find Theos. Same as you're doing for me. Thanks, Sagani.
Amazing. You could fit a whole village in here.
They are starting to like my place. Me too. Looking pretty nice. Okay, so first I want to go to Woodend Plains, then we go to Stormwall Gorge, and then to Deerford Village. I believe Stormwall Gorge is also where we need to go for Sagani's quest. Paid 450. Okay, I admit Oh, Bray Hollow Hearth is completed. Let's keep up with the inside of Bray Hollow here. Bray Hollow Lab. So I admit that I think I remember that this little ramshackle house here is where we need to go for the Parable of Wael. And I think I remember that from a previous playthrough, so I'm not saying I'm just going here randomly, just wanted to let you know that. Ibn? Ooh. And the thief? How much are you willing to bet there's more of them? Is there a bear that was fighting us too? Don't see anything. Okay, we got some white leaf here, and we have a scroll of Wael. This ancient scroll is bound with silver thread. The broken wax seal is stamped with the shape of an eye. The scroll at first appears to be gibberish, a collection of symbols and characters with no apparent connection between them. As you study them, however, you could swear that the characters begin to move. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, they shift and crisscross and realign, and you are able to read the text. A simpleton seeks out a wise man, said to know the answer to every question. Please, says the simpleton, you have to help me. The world terrifies me. I wake each morning and I don't know why. I make choices each day and I don't know what will happen as a result. I go to sleep each night and I don't know whether it will be my last. When the simpleton finishes, he notices that the wise man is weeping. The simpleton apologizes profusely and asks the wise man what he has said to upset him. The wise man shakes his head and wipes the tears from his eyes. He answers, some people have all the luck. So he envies the simpleton that he doesn't know what will happen. In other words, this wise man says that knowing the right choices and everything and knowing what's going to happen because of what he does is almost like a curse to him. which is very appropriate for a scroll of Wael, kind of like criticizing anybody who's trying to look for all of the answers, because Wael is very much about mystery, and even when they provide answers, those answers often lead to more questions. So this is a very appropriate fable of Wael. As you take the scroll, you hear a voice. You have found it. Now lose it again. High Archivist Grimda asked me to bring this back. Would you appease a dwarf or a god? The voice laughs. You think this theft was an accident? The voice seems to shift, as if the speaker were constantly changing age, race, and sex. My relics were never meant to stay in a place for long. They are meant to be lost and found. It is the search that gives the thing value. Take it to Black Meadow, find the drake that faces east, and bury it neath its skull. I just had the strangest experience. I heard a voice in my head and it told me to hide the scroll again. It directed me to bury it in Black Meadow under the skull of the drake looking east. It sounded like a message from Wael itself. So we were just speaking with a god there. We're just speaking with Wael. We have unique medium armor, the sun-touched mail of Hiran-Roth. The paladin Hiran-Roth came across a countryside village beset by gulls and made it his life's work to rid the world of the undead. He believed that their very existence was a blasphemy against the gods and a scourge on all kith. And, having observed the creatures prowling by night and skulking in dark places, he fell prey to then common misconceptions about their nature. He had his order create armor that shone with the light of the sun, believing them vulnerable to daylight. Unfortunately, he tested this theory in a cleansing of a crowded vampire den, discovering too late that the light only alerted the creatures to his presence. Published research by animancers has since dispelled many of the dangerous myths surrounding the undead. I like this here. It means that people thought that because vampires didn't go out during the day, that light was actually harmful to them, when really they just were hiding. So they didn't want to go out where everybody could see them. And that was a kind of myth here. Who should I give that to? Adra just has some leather armor here. It's medium armor, so I think I want to give it to him. Unique medium armor, better damage, recovery speed is worse. Sunbeam, 3 per rest. AoE, burn damage, blind. That's an AoE that it seems like it can hit my own people too, so I'm not going to equip that on anybody right now. Oh, I didn't equip this ring for Aloth. Okay, so we need to go to Black Meadow to...
Of course.
re-hide that scroll. So let's go there first. Bright Hollow Lab construction completed. What's next? Keep going with Bright Hollow to the courtyard pool. Okay, so we are looking for a drake that faces a drake's bone that faces east. This one right here. The bones feel as hard as stone, yet surprisingly light. This drake's skull faces east. The soil underneath is soft and moist to bury the scroll of Wael. As you cover the ancient scroll with the last handful of soil, the shifting voice speaks in your head once more. Well done, Watcher. I buried the scroll where Wael wished. Grimda will want to know what happened to it, but I'm not sure how she'll take this information. Okay, next, let's go to Stormwall Gorge. Last time we went here, the druids here were a little bit too much for us to handle, so let's see if we're doing a little bit better this time around. Domino thugs will attack the stronghold in 5 days. Bright Hollow Courtyard Pool construction completed. And Halagina finishes escorting Nairi the Deft Hand and returns to the stronghold. She doesn't get any experience for that. That kind of stinks. To auto-resolve this group of Domino thugs, to just pay 100. We're good. Let's get the last thing in Bright Hollow. Oh, we already got the last thing in Bright Hollow, so next time we go there, it's going to be looking nice and spiffy. I think the Forum is the thing that I would like to do next. Okay. We are in Stormwall Gorge. So here are these druids. Alright. Just make sure. Yeah, okay. Howled. Alright, what are these 3rd level spells?
Settle!
Who's getting hurt? Wow. Okay. Pushing up fleet feet. These are Svep using druids here. I wonder if that's why they are feral. So not exactly an easy fight, but
Of course.
we were able to handle them fairly simply. Oh, it took a while, but that's okay. Just following the road first. And then we'll go off the beaten path, and after that, Dead Adventurer. Springberries. Springberries was the first quest we had. Finally. Attacked by a lion. Lioness. Two lionesses and a Delemgan. I think the Delemgan are the uncorrupted ones that just attack people who are trying to do damage to the woods around them. We aren't doing that, but maybe it's because we attack the lionesses and the lions. Okay, so there's a lot here. If I can frighten or stun this elder lion. Man, this lion just kept coming. I feel pretty bad about that. I guess if lions attack you, then you have to kill them, but I would have left them alone. Elder Lion Fang. Lion were once a common sight in the plains east and south of Erglonfeth's Great Forest, but colonization in the eastern reach has pushed the great cats back to the relative safety of the territory between Glenfathan and Deerwood communities. In addition to their great power, lions are known for their roar, a terrifying sound that can strike fear in the hearts of even the bravest kith. Same thing? Yep. The lion hide. Let's eat talk.
All right, then.
Alright, we can go to Deerford Village now. Not going to. We'll wait. But it's open to us to travel. It's nice to be out exploring again after so much time in Defiance Bay. This group we fought before? Yes, I think so. Okay. What is this? Got some Pugras. And Pugras, I believe, are the... what's the word I'm looking for? Corrupted Demelgans. Let's actually, before we fight them, let me see if I'm right about that. So yeah, Delemgans are forest spirits, and Pugras are rotten. Yeah. So these guys just normally kind of attack everybody. Oh, jeez, it's a wind blade. Some of those. So it looks like there's something down here. I don't know what this is. The bright sun casts its light on a pattern in the ground. You kneel to get a better look. The stone here has been carved with a few simple shapes. A small circular indentation marks the center, and a much larger circle surrounds it. You see what appears to be writing above the two circles. Look at the circular indentation. The indentation is shallow and smooth. It looks like it was intended to hold something specific. Examine the outer circle. Several shapes have been carved along the outer ring. Though most have been worn away, you can make out a crescent above the center. Examine the writing. The curving, twisting runes are strangely familiar to you, because we can read in Gwithan now. You recognize them as ancient in Gwithan. They read, all things end, only to continue anew. Enter now at dusk, that we may all experience a new dawn. Wait a while. You wait for a few hours, marking the sun's journey across the sky. So in order for that to do whatever it needs to do, we probably need to place whatever it is that fits inside the center there. And then we have to wait for dusk. Okay. Okay, so we still have a little bit left of Stormwall Gorge to explore, but I think we'll save that for next session since we're running on an hour right now. So thank you so much again for joining me. This session we finally got into the Tower of Heritage Hill. Well, we got in there last session, but we finally stopped the machine. We destroyed the machine that was on the top of that so that it would stop siphoning souls, or tethering souls, actually. Some people like that, but also we got attacked by some Leaden Key assassins. We got our first few bounties, even though we haven't actually gone after any of them yet. We found a scroll of Wael and then buried it again, and then finally we started to explore Stormwall Gorge. We found this ancient ruin here that we can't get into yet because it's flooded, but I feel like we'll have to find something to let us move forward there. So yeah, thanks again so much for joining me. Next session we will explore the rest of Stormwall Gorge, and then maybe visit Deerford Village so we can get to the third of 3 places we learned about from the Temple of Whitaker. I would love to hear from you about any thoughts that you have about anything I've said, but until next time, I will see you then. Bye, everybody.